Hi children. Most people keep dogs and cats as pets. Can you think of some unusual pets that people keep? Some unusual pets that people keep are snakes such as python, bears, tigers, wolves. But it's not allowed in India. In India, it's against the law. We can keep dogs, cats, or birds as our pets. Anyway, today let's listen to a story. The bear story. It's very interesting. The story depicts the lovable side of a fierce bear. He obeyed his lady as any other pets do. He gave up his beastly acts. Here the writer pictured the likings and habits of the bear. Anyway, let's listen to it. The bear story. There was once a lady who lived in an old manor house. Manor house means a large country house with lands. On the border of a big forest, this lady had a pet bear she was very fond of. She liked it very much. It had been found in the forest, half dead of hunger, so small and helpless that it had to be brought up on the bottle by the lady and the old cook. This was several years ago, and now it had grown up to a big bear, so big and strong that he could have slain a cow. He can kill a cow and carried it away between his two paws if he had wanted to. But he didn't want to. He was a most amiable, sweet and kind, amiable bear who didn't dream of harming anybody, man or beast. He used to sit outside his kennel and look with his small intelligent eyes most amicably, most friendly at the cattle grazing in the field nearby. The three shaggy mountain ponies. Shaggy means with long, thick and uncombed hair. Ponies are small horses. Ponies in the stable knew him well and didn't mind in the least when he shuffled into the stable with his mistress. The children used to ride on his back and had more than once been found asleep in his kennel between his two paws. The three dogs loved to play all sorts of games with him, pull his ears and his stump of a tail and tease him in every way, but he didn't mind it in the least. Children, from this paragraph, we could understand the characteristics of the bear. See, once there lived a lady on the border of a big forest. She found a bear cub in the forest. It was starving. It was quite helpless. The lady had to bring it up on the bottle. The cook helped her. After many years, it grew up to a big and strong bear. However, he was a most amiable bear. He harmed neither men nor beasts. There were 3 mountain ponies in the stable. Even these ponies didn't feel frightened when he walked into the stable. Because he was very friendly, he also looked amicably at the cattle. The children used to ride on his back. They had also been found asleep in his kennel between his two paws. The 3 dogs loved to play with him. They pulled his ears and teased him in every way. He didn't mind it at all because he was very friendly. Let's continue. He had never tasted meat. He ate the same food as the dogs and often out of the same plate: bread, porridge, potato, cabbage, turnip. He had a fine appetite, and his friend, the cook, served to it that he got his fill. Bears are vegetarians if they have a chance, and fruit is what they like best. In the autumn, he used to sit and look with wistful eyes at the ripening apples in the orchard. And in his young days, he had been sometimes unable to resist the temptation to climb the tree and help himself to a handful of them. Bears look clumsy, awkward, and slow in their movements, but try a bear with an apple tree and you will soon find out that he can easily beat any schoolboy at that game. Now he had learned that it was against the law, but he kept his small eyes wide open for any apples that fell to the ground. There had also been some difficulties about the beehives. He had been punished for this by being put on the chain for 2 days with a bleeding nose, and he had never done it again. Otherwise, he was never put on the chain except for the night, and quite rightly so. For a bear, like a dog, is apt to get somewhat ill-tempered if he kept on the chain, and no wonder. See, the bear ate the same food as the dogs. He ate bread, porridge, potatoes, cabbages, and turnips. He had a good appetite. He used to see with wistful eyes at the apples in the orchard. He was not allowed to climb the tree and eat them. He had also been taught not to touch the beehive. He was once put on the chain for 2 days when he had touched the beehives. He was punished for plucking the beehives. He never repeated what once told to him. He was obedient and friendly, Otherwise, he was chained only at night. Like a dog, a bear also doesn't like to be chained. So he became such a nice bear. He was obedient and very friendly. Why was he punished? He was punished for plucking the beehives. He never repeated what once told to him, because he was very obedient, friendly, and intelligent bear. See the next paragraph. He was also put on the chain on Sundays when his mistress went to spend the afternoon with her married sister, who lived in a solitary house, in a lonely house on the other side of the mountain lake, a good hour's walk through the dense forest. It was not supposed to be good for him to wander about in the forest with all its temptations. It was better to be on the safe side. He was also a bad sailor and had once taken such a fright at a sudden gust of wind that he had upset the boat, and he and his mistress had to swim to the shore. Now he knew quite well what it meant when his mistress put him on the chain on Sundays, with a friendly tap on his head and the promise of an apple on her return if he had been good during her absence. He was sorry but resigned, like a good dog when his mistress tells him he cannot come with her for a walk. Dear children, the lady visited her sister every Sunday. The sister lived on the other side of the mountain lake, in a solitary house, in a lonely house. It was not safe to go with the bear through the forest. So on the Sundays the bear was on chain the whole afternoon. It was difficult for her to take him along, as he might fall for his temptations. Once he created a mess because wind frightened him and he lost his balance. He and his mistress fell down into water. After that, when his mistress put him on the chain on Sundays, he was patted by his mistress and was given an apple. He accepted the decision. See the next paragraph. Now let's move on to another paragraph. One Sunday, when the lady had chained him up as usual and was about halfway through the forest, she suddenly thought she heard the cracking of a tree branch on the winding footpath behind her. She looked back and was horrified to see the bear coming along full speed. Bears look as if they move along quite slowly, but they shuffle along much faster than a trotting horse. In a minute he had joined her, panting and sniffing, to take up his usual place, dog fashion, at her heels. The lady was very angry. She was already late for lunch. There was no time to take him back home. She didn't want him to come with her, and besides, it was very naughty of him to have disobeyed her. She told him in her severest voice to go back at once, menacing him with her parasol. Menacing means treat as danger. Parasol that means a light umbrella. He stopped a moment and looked at her with his cunning eyes, but didn't want to go back and kept on sniffing at her. When the lady saw that he had even lost his new collar, anything that encircles the neck, she got still more angry and hit him on the nose with her parasol so hard that it broke in two. He stopped again, shook his head, and opened his big mouth several times as if he wanted to say something. Then he turned round and began to shuffle back the way he had come, stopping now and then to look at the lady till at last she lost sight of him. One Sunday his mistress chained him and went through the forest. Then she heard the sound of broken trees as a bear was chasing her at full speed. He reached her, but the lady didn't like disobedience. She became very angry. There was no time to take him back home. She didn't even want him to come with her. She told him in her hardest tone to go back. She threatened him with her parasol, with her umbrella. The bear didn't seem to want to obey her. Then the lady saw that the bear had even lost his new collar. She hit the bear with her parasol because she wanted him to go back as she was getting late. She was infuriated when she hit him so hard that it broke her umbrella. It broke into two. The bear stopped and opened his mouth several times as if wanting to say something. Then he turned round and went back. However, he stopped now and then to look back at the lady. He looked back again and again to see, astonished for her action. At last she lost sight of him. Now let's move on to the next paragraphs. When the lady came home in the evening, the bear was sitting in his usual place outside his kennel, looking very sorry for himself. The lady was still very angry. She went up to him and began to scold him more severely and said he would have to be chained for 2 more days. The old cook, who loved the bear as if he had been her son, rushed out from the kitchen very angry. "What are you scolding him for, missus?" said the cook. "He has been as good as gold the whole day. Bless him! He has been sitting here quite still on his haunches, as meek as an angel, looking the whole time towards the gate for you to come back." What happened? The lady came back home in the evening. She found the bear looking very sorry for himself. It was so because he had been sitting there the whole day, sitting in the same position he had been waiting for the lady. The lady was still very angry. She began to scold the bear. She rebuked him and decided to chain him for 2 more days as punishment. But the old cook heard the lady and rushed out from the kitchen. She loved the bear as her own son. She asked the lady to bless him instead of scolding him. The bear, she said, had been sitting there all day as meek as an angel. It was then that the lady realized she had met another bear in the forest. The bear which the lady found in the forest was a wild bear. Since the lady scolded him severely, the bear got fear and returned back. Usually people get scared when they see a bear around. But the bear saw that the lady was confident and was even scolding him. This frightened the bear, so he ran away. Otherwise, the lady might have killed by the bear. It was her luck, isn't it? Children, did you like this story? Then let's discuss the question answers. What is the first question? Where did the lady find the bear cub? How did she bring it up? The lady found the bear cub in the forest, half dead of hunger. It was very small. The lady had to be brought it up on the bottle with the help of the cook. See the next question. The bear grew up, but he was a most amiable bear. Give 3 examples to prove this. The 3 examples that prove that he indeed was a most amiable bear are: He used to friendly watch the cattle grazing. The three dogs used to play with him, pull his ears and tease him. Children used to ride his back. See the third question. What did the bear eat? There were two things he was not allowed to do. What were they? The bear ate the food same as the dogs: porridge, bread, cabbage, potato, turnip. He used to like fruits. He was not allowed to pluck apples from the apple tree, and he was not also allowed to harm the beehives on a tree. Okay, see the next one. When was the bear tied up with a chain? Why? The bear was tied up on Sundays because his mistress used to go for a visit to her sister. See the fifth question. What happened one Sunday when the lady was going to her sister's house? What did the lady do? What was the bear's reaction? One Sunday, when the lady was going to her sister's house, she heard sound of cracking branches behind her. She saw the bear. She was angry at him to have left the room. She hit him with her umbrella. The bear turned around and began to walk back. See the last question. Why was the bear looking sorry for himself in the evening? Why did the cook get angry with her mistress? The bear was looking very sorry for himself in the evening because he did not like to stay in the room locked and wanted to join his mistress in the walk. The cook got angry with her mistress because the mistress was scolding the bear for following her to the forest. The cook told her that he didn't leave the room any time and has been sitting there gently all day long. Let's wind up today's class and see you again. Thank you.